Good evening and welcome, friends. Mafia Don Mukhtar Ansari died of a heart attack in Banda jail in Uttar Pradesh. And after that, we have seen some voices coming in or noises coming in of sympathy for him, of support for him, and demand of a probe into the circumstances of his death. The question is, who are these people? Same set of people who looked the other way when the Don made a mockery of law and order in eastern Uttar Pradesh in the Prayagraj, Varanasi, Mau belt for their narrow political objectives. Or these are some set of people who fancy about Mukhtar Ansari as a wonderful host who served chicken biryani. Ironically, these are same set of people who would say that if you connect chicken biryani with Muslims, you are sort of marginalizing them, typecasting them. Let's try to understand why this sympathy mongering for a gangster. In fact, if you have to ask a question about what was the real face of Mukhtar Ansari, is speak to Piyush Rai, the son of Krishnanand Rai, the BJP MLA who was killed by Mukhtar Ansari's gang because he won a democratic election against his brother Afzal Ansari, who happens to be a sitting MP, in fact, of the outgoing Lok Sabha. Or ask those who had to live day to day out of fear, give hafta and chauth to the Ansari gangs in those geographies just to be able to survive without harm. We'll ask those questions. Let's begin with the headlines first. Gangster turned politician Mukhtar Ansari's death sparks political firestorm, with opposition sympathizing with Ansari. Kangana gives it back after rate card slur, says those who disrespect women don't belong to Mandi. Income Tax Department issues fresh 1700 crore notice against Congress party, says will move top court now. India's insult politics continues. Siddaramaia's son fires Gunda attack on Home Minister Shah. After United States and Germany, now United Nations wades into Kejriwal's arrest route. All right, welcome back, friends. A gangster turned politician Mukhtar Ansari has died while in custody due to a cardiac arrest while serving a life sentence at the Banda jail in Uttar Pradesh. Ansari, a former five-time legislator, was facing about 63 criminal cases involving murder, kidnapping and extortion. For every one case, there must have been at least 10 of his criminal acts which went unnoticed or unaccounted because those who suffered had fear of the gangs or the Ansari gangs in those geographies. However, there is a lobby that seems to be sympathizing with the Mafia Don. Here's a report and then I come back to discuss.
Lodged in different jails of Punjab and Uttar Pradesh for most of the time since 2005, Mukhtar Ansari was once among UP's most dreaded Bahubalis, a Hindi word for strong men who are into politics. Ansari, convicted in at least 8 criminal cases since 2022, was sentenced to 10 years of imprisonment for the 2005 sensational murder of BJP MLA Krishnanand Rai. Rai had defeated Mukhtar's brother and 5-time MLA Afzal Ansari from Mohammadabad in 2002 UP Assembly polls. Gangster turned politician Mukhtar Ansari has now died while in custody due to a cardiac arrest while serving the life sentence at Banda jail.
ऐसे अपराधी का आज अंत हुआ है इस पृथ्वी से और मेरा मानना है कि बाबा गोरखनाथ का आशीर्वाद ऐसे ही मेरे पे और मेरी माता जी के बना है।
अरे कहना क्या है, यही है कि बाबा की आशीर्वाद है। जय आज मैं हमेशा बाबा के दरबार में न्याय के लिए करती थी, आज न्याय मिला है हमको। देखिए होली के त्यौहार हम लोग इस घटना के बाद नहीं मना पाते थे, आज हमको लगा कि नहीं, हमारे लिए आज का दिन होली का ही दिन है।
His death has now sparked a political firestorm, with the opposition sympathizing with Ansari.
इस परिवार से हमारे बहुत अच्छे रिश्ते थे और ये परिवार शायद आज़ादी की लड़ाई में भी इस परिवार का बहुत बड़ा योगदान था। अगर जेल में किसी की मृत्यु होती है तो उसकी जिम्मेदारी प्रशासनिक अधिकारी, जेल से लेकर के सरकार से लेकर सबकी जिम्मेदारी है।
As Ansari's death marks an end of 4 decades of crime and torture, the question is, why is the lobby crying foul? Why is Mukhtar Ansari's blood-soaked politics being normalized? That is the burning question.
All right, you saw those pictures of Mukhtar Ansari in his heydays, atop a jeep and making a complete mockery of whatever the government believes is law and order. In fact, there are some pictures where he's carrying a machine gun in his hands, and in fact, the officer who arrested him while purchasing a machine gun was unceremoniously suspended and later forced to resign from services. He's going to be there at 9 p.m. on the debate with Arnab Goswami, DSP Shailendra Singh. But joining me for this conversation, Desh Ratan Nigam, political analyst, leans towards the right. We also have Naval Kant and Hemant Tiwari, both senior journalists who have covered the badlands of Uttar Pradesh from Lucknow for a long time, and they have an understanding of what Mukhtar Ansari's death means for that geography in eastern Uttar Pradesh. And we also have Abbas Haider, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, and I would want to begin with you, Abbas Haider. The kind of emotion that one could sense in that soundbite of Shivpal Yadav, your party's leader, that kind of emotion, we never saw SP leaders sparing for the victims of the criminal acts conducted by those connected with Mukhtar Ansari in the 1990s and 2000s, even Mukhtar Ansari himself. Abbas Haider, that's real double standards. You think of your own narrow political objectives, not for the people, the citizens living
it's not about,
in those areas
politics.
Where they had to face the brunt of Mukhtar Ansari and his gangs.
No, it's not about politics. See, Mukhtar Ansari has been a 5-time legislator in Uttar Pradesh, and as we all know, it is a basic political courtesy that we all extend to each other. Even in the parliament, you never question the Prime Minister. When in the parliament, a tribute was given to Atiq Ahmed, and UP Assembly, a tribute was given to Atiq Ahmed and his brother Ashraf. So these are the basic political courtesy which we may extend to anybody who has died, who has been a legislator with, he has been legislator with Shivpal. So it is a very normal thing, one thing. But the bigger question is about the law and order, about the situation in Uttar Pradesh, because the deaths in judicial custody has been the maximum in Uttar Pradesh. There have been more than 952 people who have died in judicial custody in just 2 years in Uttar Pradesh. The crimes are increasing, it's rampant, and it is a responsibility of the state to protect anybody who is in the custody of the government, who is behind the bars. The people who are on the road, they are not protected, they are not feeling safe, and neither the people who are behind the bar, they are not protected. And this is not the first time which has happened to anyone who has been in the police custody. And there have been questions which have been raised from the family of Mukhtar Ansari that, he has been given poison. There was a letter given to the court in Barabanki that he has been given poison. But I think in time, no due action was taken. This is a very serious issue. This is not just about Mukhtar Ansari or one political prisoner. It's about many people who are in jail. Because, as we have all seen, that, there have been shootouts inside the jails. There have been multiple such incidents, which should not happen, we believe.
Okay, since you are saying that the law and order situation is really bad and we should be talking about that, let's try to understand the history sheet of Mukhtar Ansari. As I said, for every one case that was registered and that went through legal judicial investigation process, there must have been at least 10. And let me go to Nawal Khan ji first. Nawal Khan, आप बताएं कि मुख्तार अंसारी का डेथ होना, उसके मायने क्या हैं प्रयागराज, वाराणसी, मऊ, गाजीपुर के लोगों के लिए जो 1990 के दशक में और 2000 के दशक में मुख्तार अंसारी का वो चेहरा देखते हैं जिसको सोच के शायद अभी भी सिहर जाते होंगे?
देखिए, मुख्तार अंसारी के दो पक्ष हैं। एक पक्ष ये है कि वो एक उत्तर प्रदेश के गैंग नंबर 191 का सरगना था। दूसरा पक्ष ये है कि वो चुनाव जीतकर विधानसभा में पहुंचा था। दोनों रसूख आपसे मैं उसका डिस्कस करना चाहूंगा। देखिए, उसके खिलाफ 65 से ज्यादा मामले दर्ज हुए थे, 21 से ज्यादा मामले चल रहे थे, लेकिन उसके खिलाफ कोई सजा नहीं होती थी। उसके खिलाफ उसको खाली जेल में बंद कर दिया जाता था, लेकिन कोर्ट से कुछ नहीं होता था। लेकिन पिछले कुछ सालों में, मैं कहूंगा कि मात्र 1.5 सालों में 7-8 केसों में उसको सजा हो चुकी है, जिसमें से 2 उम्र कैद की सजा है। तो जाहिर सी बात है, उसका बड़ा रसूख था, बड़ी ताकत थी। और नंदलाल ढूंढा का अपहरण आपको याद होगा, वो हिंदू पंथ नेता थे और बड़े बिजनेसमैन थे। देखिए, जब पॉलिटिशियन उत्तर प्रदेश के, मैं आपको बताऊं कि यहाँ पे जब नेता जो अपराधी थे, बाहुबली थे, वो पहले नेताओं को जिताते थे, फिर उनको लगा मैं खुद क्यों नहीं जीत सकता हूं। उसके बाद इस तरह के गैंगस्टर आना शुरू हुए और एक जैसे पॉलिटिक्स में होता है कि हिंदू वोटर और मुस्लिम वोटर, इसी तरह का माहौल पूर्वांचल में भी हुआ। और एक तरफ मुख्तार अंसारी अतीक थे, एक तरफ ब्रिजेश सिंह, कृष्णानंद राय और तमाम लोग थे। इस तरह का पूरा माहौल क्रिएट हुआ था। लेकिन राजनीति की दखल आप इस तरह से समझ सकते हैं कि जो 2009 का वाराणसी का चुनाव, लोकसभा का चुनाव हुआ था, उसमें जो मुरली मनोहर जोशी बीजेपी के प्रत्याशी थे और अंत तक लग रहा था लगातार वो पीछे चल रहे थे मुख्तार अंसारी से, और लास्ट में वो जीते हैं, तब जीते हैं जो इस समय कांग्रेस के प्रदेश अध्यक्ष है अजय राय, वो भी कांग्रेस से चुनाव लड़ रहे थे। और उन्होंने, चूंकि उनकी भी दुश्मनी रही है मुख्तार से, तो उन्होंने अपने वोट, ये कहा जाता है कि डलवाए मुरली मनोहर जोशी को, तब मात्र 20,000 वोटों से जीतते थे। तो राजनीतिक रसूख भी मुख्तार अंसारी के पास है। हम लोग के लिए हो सकता है माफिया हो, लेकिन एक बड़ा तबका है खासतौर से पूर्वांचल में, वो उसको मसीहा मानता है। और इसी जो मसीहा वाली ताकत है, मैं ये कहना चाह रहा हूं, हाँ, मैं कह रहा था कि जो उसकी मसीहा वाली ताकत है, वही नेताओं को, खासतौर से जो सेकुलर पॉलिटिक्स करते हैं, या सीधे सीधे शब्दों में कहें जो मुस्लिम वोटों की पॉलिटिक्स करते हैं, वो आकर्षित करती है। और इसी वजह से आप देख रहे होंगे कि इस मामले में, जिसमें अभी क्लियर भी नहीं है कि अभी इसकी जांच भी होनी है, और जो घोषित सरकार की तरफ से किया गया है कि उसकी मौत हार्ट अटैक से हुई है, उसको छोड़ करके लोग बातचीत कर रहे हैं कि कह रहे हैं, ट्वीट कर रहे हैं कि ये जो है एक तरह की हत्या है, कस्टोडियल हत्या। कस्टोडियल बेटा, अगर मुझे 10 सेकंड दे तो एक बात और मैं कहना चाहूंगा कि
वो तो इन्वेस्टिगेशन में आएगा
जी। और ये देखिए, आप इसका सोचिए ना कि पिछले दिनों में
आएगा 51,
हाँ जी, 51 कस्टोडियल हत्या हुई। 51 इस 7 साल 8 साल के योगी के कार्यकाल में 65 हुई थी समाजवादी पार्टी के कार्यकाल में। लेकिन 65 और 51 को जोड़ लीजिए तो अब तक कितनों में विपक्ष ने मुद्दा उठाया है कस्टोडियल डेथ का।
ठीक है, सही बात है। पर जो मेरे को बात समझ में आ रही है, मैं हेमंत तिवारी जी से पूछना चाहूंगा कि ये जो रॉबिनहुड वाली इमेज बनाई जाती है, जैसे अभी नवल खान भी कह रहे थे कि माफिया की जो एक छवि थी कि वो मसीहा हैं कुछ एक तबके के, जिसको राजनीतिक पार्टियों ने, दोनों ने, समाजवादी पार्टी और बहुजन समाजवादी पार्टी ने भुनाया। तो और फिर ऐसे में माफिया को लगता है कि भाई हम नेता को जिताते हैं तो हम खुद ही बन जाएं। और उन्होंने जो 4 नाम दिए, उदाहरण दिए कि बहुत सारे पूर्वांचल में बने, मुख्तार अंसारी उसमें से एक थे। पर ये जो बात हम करते हैं माफिया के मसीहा होने की, ये मीडिया क्रिएशन नहीं है हेमंत तिवारी? जमीन पे जो लोग सफर करते हैं, आम आदमी, उनसे पूछिए।
कुछ खास मामलों में शायद कम है, एकदम से नहीं है तो नहीं कह सकते हैं। कारण एक आप अगर गाजीपुर मऊ इन इलाकों में जाइए तो एक खास कम्युनिटी के लोग इनको अपना मसीहा मानते हैं, ये सच्चाई है। लेकिन एक बड़ी चीज जो मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा, Navalkant mentioned the incident of 2009 general elections, and what I personally feel, the same scenario is going to be repeated in this ongoing general elections. ये 2009 में एक चीज बताना भूल गए कि जब
How?
मुरली मनोहर जोशी लगभग चुनाव हार रहे थे लोकसभा का वाराणसी में, मतलब नरेंद्र मोदी के जाने के पहले 5 साल पहले जो चुनाव हुए थे, जब लगा कि मुरली मनोहर जोशी चुनाव हार रहे थे, तो उस वक्त वहां बड़ा मैसेज गया और एक लोकल पोलराइजेशन हुआ। लोकल पोलराइजेशन, फिर से बता रहा हूं, स्थानीय स्तर पर धार्मिक आधार पर ध्रुवीकरण हुआ और हिंदू वोट एक हो गया। अभी जो हो रहा है, अभी जो सीन में आज पूरे दिन भर देख रहा हूं, कल उनके डिमाइस के बाद, वो भी इसी लाइन पे जा रहा है। चाह रहा है जिनको मुसलमान मतों की जरूरत है वो अपनी सिंपैथी दिखा रहे हैं, चाहे किसी पार्टी के नेता हो, तो मुख्तार अंसारी के लिए, और मुख्तार अंसारी के लिए अगर सिंपैथी की बात करेंगे और ये चीज मुसलमानों के बीच जाएगी तो जाहिर सी बात है उन सारे इलाकों में इसकी विपरीत प्रतिक्रिया होगी, रिवर्स रिएक्शन, जिसको हम कहते हैं पोलराइजेशन। तो मुख्तार अंसारी की मौत एक साधारण घटना के तौर पर मैं नहीं देखता हूँ, बहुत बड़ी बात बता रहा हूँ, मैं साधारण घटना के तौर पर नहीं देखता हूँ। मुख्तार अंसारी इस बात के सिंबल हो गए हैं, जो पॉलिटिकल एक्टिविटीज आप देखी गई, जो रिएक्शंस देखे गए, कि मुख्तार अंसारी 2024 के पार्लियामेंट्री इलेक्शन में उत्तर प्रदेश की जमीन पर, खास तौर से ईस्टर्न यूपी में एक बड़ा इशू हो सकते हैं। इशू क्या होंगे? इशू होंगे तो स्वाभाविक रूप से सपा या बसपा, खासतौर से सपा जिनको मुस्लिम वोटों की वाकई दरकार है, मुस्लिम वोटों की ओर ज्यादातर है भी, इसमें कोई शक नहीं, तो वो सिंपैथी लेने की कोशिश करेगा। उसका जो रिएक्शन होगा तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी को बिना कुछ किए धरे बैठे बैठाए इसका लाभ होगा। उत्तर प्रदेश का इतिहास, इसका रिसेंट पास्ट इस बात का गवाह रहा है। इसलिए मैं इस बात की आशंका और संभावना, आशंका तो हटाए, मैं इसकी संभावना देखता हूं कि मुख्तार अंसारी अपने मरने के बाद भी एक बड़ा पॉलिटिकल इशू बनने जा रहे हैं। जी
Hemant Tiwari, you have given a very deep journalistic understanding of the consequences of this development. But what is my takeaway is that essentially what we are already seeing, Deshratan Nigam, is that there is brazen political opportunism already panning out in the form of the support and sympathy that's being showered on the family of Mukhtar Ansari. In a way, it's unfortunate, Deshratan Nigam. It's not sympathy, you see. It's absolute brazen political manipulation of the death of Mukhtar Ansari. And then we have some people who talk about, with nostalgia, the kind of chicken biryani Mukhtar Ansari used to serve them, irrespective of, and they would be willing to, or they were willing to overlook his criminal antecedents just because they were happy being with a Don and for whatever reasons enjoy that company, unfortunately. Deshratan Nigam. Deshratan Nigam, can you unmute yourself? We are not getting you.
Yes. Sorry. Abhishek, let me make it very clear that the underworld and the world of crime has lost a gangster, a mobster, and a murderer, extortionist, a rioter, and a terrorist, and whose shoes cannot be allowed to be filled by anybody, whosoever high he may be. And that is where the role of the Yogi government comes into the picture, which they are capable of ensuring that such kind of shoes, criminal shoes, are never filled. Secondly, the first case was lodged in 1978, and the conviction, because of the political patronage that the Samajwadi Party gave and many other political parties were in cahoot with such kind of mafia dons, the witnesses used to get hostile or they were, abducted or murdered. Finally, the conviction took place after 44 years in 2022. And there are 8 other convictions. And he had gone for life. There was no chance of his coming out of the jail. And therefore, I don't think there would be anybody interested in murdering him. And he was gone for good. and therefore to create such kind of atmosphere while trying to create a martyr of a criminal is abhorrent and should be avoided at all cost. And such kind of sympathy, there should not be any
Right.
sympathy for such people. And please remember his role in Mau riots.
Absolutely.
And he was brazenly moving with guns on an open jeep. This was his role, and the society has to think
Yes.
very seriously and introspect ourselves, whether they are from Muslim community or Hindu community. Such elements and the Robin Hood kind of propaganda which is being spread should never be there, because those who live by fire die by fire, and the karmic cycle today is complete. You get punished
Yes,
for
exactly
your
that.
crimes in this world only. Please remember that. And anybody who's trying to get political mileage of it are playing with fire. Let me
Okay.
tell you, if you polarize, there has to be counter polarization. So don't
No,
play
Deshwatan
into
Nigam,
that
it
field.
seems both the sides, the SP and the BSP little openly, and the BJP maybe silently, because as Hemant Tiwari mentioned, that if a polarization happens of the minority community, a counter polarization ipso facto happens from the majority community also. Abbas Haider, 2 points come out of this. One, that what is being seen as sympathy is actually not sympathy, but absolute brazen manipulation to polarize and to benefit from this development, from this death of Mukhtar Ansari. And two, Abbas Haider, you are absolutely silent on the fact that for 20 years, 30 years, n number of crimes went unpunished. It's only now that the government resolved and convictions started happening that you are questioning the law and order. It's actually double standards, Abbas Haider.
No, Abhishek, I would like to answer both of your questions. First of all, it is not sympathy, it is a concern of the opposition that extrajudicial killing, or if a person dies in a judicial custody, there is a suo motu, there is a standard.
Can't we wait
operating
till the
procedure
investigation is over for that?
No, that an inquiry
Abbas
has to
Haider.
take place. I'm sorry? I'm audible to you?
I'm saying, can't we wait for the investigation to be over before we come to a conclusion whether this is extrajudicial, etc.? Because remember, there is a probe already ordered, a magisterial probe ordered. There is a post-mortem that has happened.
Yeah, so that's the operating procedure. That's nothing new. Basically, we have requested for our inquiry under the Supreme Court's guidance, so that there shouldn't be, because here big names have been taken. He has taken names of big fishes. So basically, you cannot expect an independent inquiry. So that is one thing. It's not just about one person. It is about people who are behind bars, people who are in jails. It is about the security of many politicians, CMs and former chief ministers.
Okay.
They are in jail. We have seen. What about them? If similar thing might happen to them, God forbid. So there has to be something. There has to be particular procedure which needs to be followed. And in this case, you have seen that on the 26th was taken to a Banda Medical College where no physician was available, as the family has said. There was a surgeon over there, and in 14 hours he was discharged. Normally, a patient from ICU is shifted to a general ward, as we all know, but he was then sent back to jail. So there has been something which draws attention, which is of prime concern to anybody, and we are not saying that a person who has committed a
But
crime.
Abbas Haider, you are papering over.
Paying his price in the jail. He was paying his price in the jail. But that does not mean that
Abbas Haider.
judicial killing that cannot
Abbas.
be expected in a rule of law like us. We are not China, neither Russia, neither we can ever be Russia or China. We are India. We are a democratic
Okay,
country,
Abbas,
and
you see, you are jumping the gun, I think. Abbas, you are jumping the gun.
I'm just
Abbas, you're jumping the gun. But I'll come to you, Deshwatan Nigam.
And things should be brought to the table, that what has really happened.
There is already an inquiry going on. Trust the process to be completed. Then you can raise questions, and you of course have the option of going to the Supreme Court. Nobody is stopping you and the family. But Abbas Haider, but you are
2005 when Samajwadi Party.
Yes, that's a more important one.
He has followed the due process. After that, he has got convicted 2-3 years back. So and what about other cases? There are people who have got 106 cases. Even Mukhtar Ansari he was a witness in one of the cases against these people. He won 106 cases. He is protected by the government. So you never talk about them. The BC government will not talk about conviction of those people who have been protected. I believe that a state should not have state protected criminal and ordinary criminal. A criminal should be dealt with with the strictest punishment possible, but according to the law. You cannot go against the law. You cannot discriminate between
No, what
criminals.
is
This
what
I
is
believe.
what is a heart attack to do? What is heart attack to? What is one heart attack to do with process of law? I mean, you are clearly connecting the unconnected
No, I'm saying
Abbas
that,
Haider,
visceral
but you did not
fluid should
answer
be
my
taken
question.
and
And
toxicological
let me try to
results should be
understand.
done.
You are focusing on only one aspect, which is a matter of probe. So let's not jump the gun, Abbas Haider, but the question of absolute ruthless, brazen polarization being sought of the Muslim vote bank. नवल कांत, आप मुझे क्विकली अगर बता पाएं कि किस तरह का
It's not about politics.
आंकड़ा ये राजनीतिक पार्टियों के दिमाग में होगा, मन में होगा, जब वो इस तरह का पोलराइजेशन का सोच रहे हैं? पूर्वांचल की कितनी सीट है जहां पे मुख्तार अंसारी जैसा हेमंत तिवारी कह रहे हैं मुख्तार अंसारी एक फैक्टर हो सकता है?
देखिए, मऊ, आजमगढ़, बलिया, बनारस, इस तरह की तमाम सीटें हैं जहां मुख्तार अंसारी का रसूख है और वहां पे मुस्लिम वोट बैंक अच्छी खासी संख्या में है। विपक्ष की रणनीति ये है कि जो मुस्लिम वोट बैंक सीधे सीधे उनके पास पूरा आ जाए, उसके अलावा थोड़ा सा दलितों का और पिछड़ों का कॉम्बिनेशन हो जाए, तो वो कई सीटों पे जो अपने तरीके से उसको हासिल कर सकती हैं। लेकिन जैसा कि हेमंत जी ने कहा कि जो एक काउंटर पोलराइजेशन होता है, वहां पे इस वजह से हिंदू भी बहुत यूनाइट होते हैं और ये देखना होगा, ये दिलचस्प होता जा रहा है कि सीधे सीधे हिंदू मुस्लिम की पॉलिटिक्स शुरू हो गई विपक्ष और बीजेपी के बीच में, और अब देखना ये होगा कि आगे ये पलड़ा किस तरफ भारी होता
But the fact of the matter is,
सीधे बीजेपी को फायदा दिख रहा है, बीजेपी का फायदा।
Fact of the matter is, on some seats the Samajwadi Party would benefit. I'm not sure about the BSP, but on some seats, obviously, with counter polarization, BJP would benefit. But the fact of the matter is, Deshratan Nigam, unfortunately, I've run out of time, but I have to wrap up. Unfortunately, the fact of the matter is that Mukhtar Ansari was a gangster, a mafia, who took upon himself politics as a career and thought that that's a way to protect himself from the long arms of the law. It was only a matter of time, of course, and when a resolute government came, Mukhtar Ansari had to face consequences of his actions. He has died of a heart attack. We should not be getting nostalgic about any aspect of his personality, but just focus on the fact that there were hundreds and thousands of people who suffered in the heydays of Mukhtar Ansari's Mafia dome, and they have a sigh of relief now. And everything else is politics. On that note, thank you so much, Deshratan Nigam, Naval Kant, Hemant Tiwari, and Abbas Haider for joining us. And before we slip into a short break, Republic Media Network is proud to announce the launch of our exclusive Nazar Ka Tika campaign, encouraging all Indians to come ahead and vote. At Republic, we believe voting is the cornerstone of our democracy, driving progress and safeguarding freedom for all. Join us in our Nazar Ka Tika campaign and vote for a new India. Thanks for watching.